Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Feature Friday. It's been such a crazy week that I haven't seen any of you, so it's so good to see you today. And if you're missing out today, we will be back to normal next week. So we will see you now in the next week. But Sandy, who, if you've been here to some of the trainings, you have heard let us encourage her in many ways because she's very accomplished and we want to learn more from her. She had her first workshop yesterday, or her most recent workshop. And what I would love her to do is, for those of you who have not put a workshop together or have not put a workshop together in this way, just hear in her own words like what she did and then kind of like how it went yesterday. So Sandy, thanks for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Not a problem. First off, I want to thank Lana because she pushed me by starting what I needed to do and put it into my account. One of the awesome features of Pagewheel is that we can share products with each other. So Lana got it started and then I just went in and tweaked it. For my workshop, literally just put a cover and about me and then a checklist of things that a beginner person for Canva would need to learn. And that's all I did. I sent that out to people. I've been asked to do a Canva course for a long time. And so I have a list and I sent that out. And I had 22 people sign up and I charged $9.99 for it. And
Yes.
then, and then I love to teach. It's just a matter of putting that part together and knowing what to teach, because everything I've taught in the past, there's been a end result that I needed to do. And with Canva, it's so big, it's like, but now I've got it. And it was Canva 101. And literally I'm like, everybody has to know how to do this stuff. And it was like, wow, can you show me that again? I'm like, what? So yeah, just start where you are. And I had 22 people sign up, 10 people showed up. A number of people told me they wouldn't be there, that they just wanted the replay.
So just logistics, just because this kind of a nuts and bolts is, so your first like page wheel, what you built in page wheel was that checklist. And then what did you do on that delivery page to let people know where to find you for the actual live workshop?
On the delivery page, I put my Zoom link
Okay.
in there.
So you put like, hey, I'm going to be here at this time, meet
Well,
me
actually,
using
it
Zoom link.
was in the email that they got the Zoom
Okay.
link. So once
Okay.
they signed up, because I didn't want them to get the Zoom link unless they bought the ticket.
Yes.
So they bought the ticket or paid for the product, and in the email, they got the Zoom link. And then yesterday, I just sent out a reminder with the link to the page wheel, again, the product, because they paid for it.
Yeah.
And then also the Zoom link in a reminder email as well.
Okay. And then once you have the recording put together, which doesn't have to be fancy, by the way, if I just might add my 2 cents, what are you going to be embedding that back into the delivery page on your page wheel
That
link
was my
funnel?
next
Yeah.
giant thing to figure out.
Yeah. So, well, why don't we look at that really quickly? Because it's really, when you see how easy that is, you'll be like, oh, that's going to take me like 5 minutes tops. So that's one of the things we'll look at in just a minute. So, does
Okay.
anyone have questions about what Sandy did before we move on?
It made me think I actually need to dial it back. Like I taught my basics class the second time and it went at what people really need to know.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm charging 35. I only did it inside of my little women's networking group. I'm going to charge more when I do it for the public,
Mm-hmm.
but I did 15 memes for $35 and I had 6 people raise their hand and I've already done 5 of them and I've got one more to deliver today. They don't know what to do with them.
So you need to do like the 101 class.
So I kind of need to release now I have the memes. What do I do with them?
Mm-hmm.
And show people how to do the meme, schedule the meme, but then go one step further. And I'm going to show them how to create a B-roll reel and put the text from the meme on top of the B-roll reel, save a bunch of those, but then only post them when they're ready to post them with trending audio, because trending audio is sketchy.
Yeah.
You can't, you kind of, I mean, a lot of people say schedule out your reels on Instagram. You kind of can't if you're using audio.
Right, right.
Because a trending audio that's got 1,200 uses that's trending Monday morning and you schedule it for Wednesday afternoon,
it's late.
Might be over.
Which is one of the things that you can teach people to do in your course.
Yeah.
And the thing is like, you see how you're creating a course over something so like simple 101 niche, which literally
Every morning,
Sammy's
everybody's like, how do you turn out so many reels? And I'm like, how do you not?
We keep losing you, Holly. So, I mean, I think everybody else is getting it too. You keep going into froze.
Oh, I'm gonna have to switch my,
and then you're so, and then you come back.
okay, I'm gonna have to switch my internet here for just a second. All right. Am I back? Am I back?
To right now, because that's something that I can sustain. Because I've gotten it so easy. But Holly, I wanted to wait till you came back to tell you this. Since I've integrated memes with my reels, because for a while I was just doing reels on Instagram because I just didn't know what else to post. And whenever I would post something other than a reel, it would just flop. So I was like, why bother?
Right.
But since I started going meme reel, I have grown 10 to 20 followers a day.
Amazing. Amazing.
Which for me, that's a lot.
That's incredible. I would love it. Love it, love it, love it. Oh my goodness, you guys are so cool.
I don't know how long it'll sustain. Maybe it'll even start getting bigger, but I'm like this far away from 5,000 followers. And I'm just like, come on.
That's amazing. All right, I'm going to switch over, and thank you, ladies, for sharing those things. I am going to switch over to some of the new, and one of the reasons why we didn't have Wednesday's meeting is because I lost all my internet. Like my office had no internet for 3 days.
After the thing, I'll stay and I'll tell you what we do to cheat to go around the internet system, so you won't have that problem.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
I got something for you.
That sounds incredible. I will come back to you. All right. So this is Feature Friday, so I wanted to make sure that we did show you some things. The first one, for those of you who are on the business level, which is the second level, one of the things that you guys have been asking for a really, really, really long time is now launched. I'm going to go into this thing that we made a while back to show you what it is. And drum roll, please. I'm going to my saved pages list. Cynthia's about to cry.
What?
Look at all those pages.
Look at Kim dancing.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
So for what we've rolled out is the starter level can save 3 pages like we've always been able to do. And the business level, you can save 10. So you can, yes, just, I don't even think I have to explain it any further, but for those of you who are new to Pagewheel, this is a pretty big deal, because what this means is if you make a page, like for instance, not this About Me page that my head's cut off, I need to crop that image. But one that, if I had an About Me page or any other page I make in any of my books that I want to save to potentially use in a future book, I can do that here. So that's going to be really, really helpful when you're creating things that you're kind of mixing and matching. And a lot of us often will create within the same sphere. So maybe you teach a 101 class and then a 102 class, and you want to keep some of that 101 stuff in it as a reminder. You can just pull those pages in. Or if you have calendar pages or resource pages and such, that's going to be super helpful for you. All right. So I knew that was going to be a big hit. Let's go over to the other side of Pagewheel. And so I'm hitting get your copy pack. So we're hopping over out of the digital product maker over to the copy pack side. And I don't think I've actually seen this since it's been launched. Where is the, yeah, expanded meme packs, which is also at that business level. And the example's not working here. Let me put a new thing here because I haven't been over here for a while since my internet has been back up. So let's say peanut butter and jelly sandwich maker. And we're going to do expanded meme packs right here and take me that copy. So one of the things that you'll notice that we're slowly going to be improving both the first meme packs and then the expanded meme packs. They have different prompts. So for those of you who are wanting to make a wide variety, you'll still want to run it through both. Likely because it's gonna, and you'll see this if you get really familiar with them, you'll see patterns emerge. When there is like sometimes you're going to find empty spaces in these because of the intensity of the calls to AI. Sometimes it will skip. If that happens, or every once in a while come up here and they'll all be blank, just go rerun it or wait 5 minutes and rerun it. And
are the expanded ones different from the regular ones?
Yes, they're
both.
completely
Did we not run them both at the same time?
No, so they're different prompts. So
Okay.
So there'll be if you'll see the same like themes over and over again in the meme packs, and you'll see the same themes over and over again in the expanded meme packs. That's
Okay.
just the way memes are going to go, is that they'll be, basically, it's going to be like the first one, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches are fantastic for a quick snap. If you don't like the taste, just add bacon, honey, bananas. I don't know why it's doing that, but why do people meet up for coffee when we could meet up for making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches? So likely that meme will always have to do with like, instead of coffee, do this,
Yeah.
So
that one comes up every time.
Yeah. So that's why expanding these things out and varying them out will help you be fresh over time. But for those of you just getting started with memes, and if you're on that starter level, you're going to be fine for quite some time on just that starter pack, unless you've made a business of creating them for other people, like some people who will remain nameless. And then you might want to be using both, or if you're posting a lot, you may want to have the ability to use both. And so that's just a little benefit for those of you on the business edition, is you're going to have a whole bunch of extra ones to choose from. And I know I've mentioned this before, but I know some of you are new, is that we wouldn't expect 100% of these to be useful because you can imagine, depending on what your prompts are, they're going to be a little bit. So just go through and find the ones that are useful. Also, in this case, I put in like, peanut butter and jelly sandwich making. When I'm going to actually go back, and in the meme packs, it's unlike any of the other things. The shorter, the better. So let's just like peanut butter sandwich. And let's just do that one. And that will likely give me a better result. Although, as with anything, you're a human, which gives you an edge over AI, so that you could go ahead and tweak it a little bit if it doesn't quite make sense. I encourage you to use your brain anytime you use AI as a tool, because it can kind of go off the rails sometimes in ways that we can't imagine. So peanut butter sandwiches are great for a fitness diet. If you don't like the taste, just add jelly. Yeah, I don't know, and eat with a smile. You dislike group work because you work better on your own. I dislike group work because I don't like the people. We're not the same. I don't know. See, some of these are just going to get crazy. Only eat peanut butter sandwiches on days that start with T, like Tuesday, Thursday, today, and tomorrow. So You can see like out of the, if I was really promoting peanut butter sandwiches, I probably would only use one out of those three. There's a peanut butter sandwich for that. Me every time something goes wrong. That's cute. So the closer you are to the peanut butter sandwich, the further you are from the laundry pile. So anyway, so those are the new things that I wanted to show you today, the expanded mean pack, and then those the ability to save up to 10 pages on the other things. So any questions or any comments about any of that?
I have a Pagewheel question, but it's not to do with any of this really, but kind
Go
of.
for it.
I did a class, like, like a lunch and learn type of class. I don't call it that, but I call it a workshop because I'm a crafter. So I did it and got the replay and all that. It's all good. Is there any way for me to close the sales page? Now, I did kind of hack it, right? And I was able to hide a couple of the sections. I can't hide them trying to like fill in their name in that. They would still have to pay, right?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that would slow them down.
So that's a really good question. Let me add that to our wish list. We've been talking about that, but we haven't quite figured out what that looks like. My suggestion for you might be to just put like a $200 price tag on
I
it.
put $1 million.
Okay, there you go.
If somebody actually hits that because they're not paying attention and they get charged, well, they wouldn't get charged $1 million.
$1 million. I feel like strike
Hey, if I only need
shot.
one sale, and I'm out of here.
Yeah, you might put something on it that's semi-reasonable. And just
I'll show you what I did.
Yeah, I was gonna say here, let me give you the ability to share.
Yeah. So the use
other
case is I
part of
would
that
like to
is
reuse this.
You might put on there, please don't buy this.
I did. I basically, hang on, I'll show you. Screen share. You're gonna see green
And
screen for a minute.
Jay, we're just taking questions, so I'll have to go to you right after Kim.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you in a second what I did to her. All right. Can you see that?
I can.
Okay. So this is the class here. Here's what I did with the website. So I said, sorry, you missed the live Zoom class. And I made this the same color as the text. So you can't see the price.
Oh, there you go.
Or
Okay.
the class is over. And then here you can see the original sales stuff. You can hide all that, but you can't hide this. Right. I tried everything.
Yeah.
So
okay.
if I could just get it to that, and then eventually I could use it again.
I actually think that's a really good, that's a really good thing. And then if you put a crazy, like a really high price on the back end, if someone ends up on that thing, but that's a really good way to
out there, and I don't want to, I learned don't mess with that link, because the people that did buy will not be able to get access to their PDF or their video, or because it'll be broken, and I don't want to break it, but I do want to reuse it because I've done all the work.
Right. So for those of you who are not quite understanding what Kim was doing, so she ran her workshop, it's over, she doesn't want to sell it anymore. And so what she's done is we really want to keep all the links intact so that her people can always come back and see that delivery page, all that kind of stuff, where her course or workshop or assets are all there. So Pagewheel will address this in the future about ability to make something not available, but for the meantime, I think that hack is a really good.
Sure, it's just a temporary solution. Eventually, once I've I've edited the video and all that, I'm going to put it on Evergreen and keep selling it off the same link, just because it did convert. So why would I do all that work again? The emails are all connected. I'm not crazy enough to want to retype all that. My goodness.
Yeah. And the other thing, if you wanted to create something you could clone, before you made all those changes, you could clone it onto another thing that you would keep the thing, and then that might be the one that you don't. So there's lots of different ways to do that. If you're ever in a situation where you're like, this seems hard, just message me through the intercom, the live chat on the lower right corner of Pagewheel, because usually if we don't have a solution that's obvious, we can usually figure out a hack like Kim did.
Yeah, and I just thought the only problem that I had with even with cloning it is that the links are out there for the sale.
Right.
So if somebody comes across one in their, they read the email 3 weeks later and they click the link because they think for some reason it's today, because not everybody reads every word I write. They just hit the highlights and click the buttons. I know,
I
hard
love
to
that.
believe, but
yeah, Kim, I think you did a really good job because I think people are like, okay, I don't need to buy this. It's
yeah,
done.
sure there's nothing here now
All right.
until it's all sorted and ready to go evergreen,
All right. Is it Jay? I had you down as Jay. Is it Angela?
It's really Angela. I'm on
Okay.
my dad's account, ironically. We share the account for the business. I'm sorry about that.
No,
I was
no,
like,
no.
people are gonna be like, is this a guy or a girl?
How can I help you, Angela? Good to
So,
see you.
Holly, I have 3 questions, and I think most of them stemmed from an email conversation we were having. Like come to office hours. I'll start with the easy one. When's the next business school class starting?
So I believe Rachel will be announcing that in the next, let's see.
Oh, so
I think within
later
the-
this month or in
Yeah,
October?
2 weeks, because I believe that nothing's set in stone at this moment, but I think it's running in October. So I think you're
Okay.
really close to that.
Cool. Thank you. And then the other 2 questions were the email and the Stripe account.
Yes.
So I'm going to be doing stuff primarily for real estate to start my
Mhm.
commercial real estate business. And then
Yes.
there's other stuff that I was creating, but I don't want it to go to my real estate account. I want to keep them separate.
Yeah.
So there's just one email account that you can use now, but I think you or Rachel said maybe down the road there'd be additional options.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. So with your Pagewheel account, you may use it for as many businesses as you want. Many of us have multiple, but your
Mhm.
only limitation is you're going to have one email that you're associated with your account, and then you're going to have one Stripe account that will be associated with that account. So and in the future, we're going to have what we're calling an enterprise level that will give you the ability to have multiple sub accounts. So that's going to work out really well for those of you who want to run multiple businesses or bring in people that you're helping out underneath of you within your account. I don't want to make any sweeping statements, but we're hoping to have that done by the end of the year. I think it'll be sooner than that, but it's one of those things that is a big undertaking. So when
Understood.
something will break.
Awesome.
But in the meantime, there's 2 ways to go about this. And I have a friend who actually did this, is she had kind of ran an agency. And so what she did is she started with one account. And when she needed the ability to use 2 different stripes, she signed up for a second account at the starter level with another email address. You can't use the same one for both. And then she would share what she needed into that other account. And then she ran her other Stripe through that other account. So it is a little bit more expensive. But quite honestly, when we get to the enterprise level, having a business account that is, kind of your home base, and then a secondary account for a specific business would only be an additional $27 a month, which is probably going to be cheaper than the enterprise level eventually anyway. So, and let's go, I know that somebody mentioned it earlier. Let me show you where that share is, just so that everybody knows, because we mentioned it earlier and I meant to do that. Let's go back. So let's say you made this in your main account for your dad or somebody that you wanted to run it for on a different Stripe account. You could create it in your account just so that you have it, and you're used to things in your account. And then what you could do is go up here and then use that share button and then share it with the other account, and the whole thing would come over. And then you could go over and do tweaking or whatever you wanted to over there. And then you would have that his Stripe account. I'm just using your dad because it's just easier to talk
Obvious.
about. Yeah, you could use his Stripe account over there if you needed those 2 to be separate.
Perfect. Okay. And then my question is about the Stripe, because I've never used Stripe, so
Yes.
I need a little education, and maybe I'm not the only one.
Okay, so let me show you. So there's two ways to set up your Stripe. You
Okay.
could just start making your product, and when you add a price to it on that sales page, it's going to say, wait, we're not
Yeah,
going to
that's what
let
I've run
you
into.
charge money. You have to set up Stripe. So you're just going to go through the process, and it will take you step by step. If you already have a Stripe account, it will prompt you to set to connect it. And you can put, like, you could have a Stripe account with a completely different email address than your Pagewheel email address, because you're setting up that Stripe account. We don't care. It's between you and Stripe. So that is going to go through that. If you would rather be preemptive, like if you're setting up two accounts at the same time with different Stripe accounts, what you can do is just go up into your account settings, into Stripe connection, and then you can see that's my Stripe. But if I didn't have Stripe there, what I would do is it would say set up Stripe, and I would just follow the instructions. It's very, very simple. Even I can do it. I think I
Even
did
I
it.
can do it.
Yeah. And if you don't have Stripe, it's going to prompt you to set it up. And I've set up a Stripe account too, and it's very simple. It's actually quite even simpler than PayPal to a certain extent. So I would just go through the steps. If you have at any moment it doesn't make sense to you, or you're having problems, then just hit this intercom button right here and chat with me, and I can try to find the answers. If it's something on the Stripe side, anytime, and this is true with Zapier too. So both Zapier and Stripe, Pagewheel has API access into their things. So once you get on their side, their help will be very, very helpful.
Okay.
Because they'll have like how to do this, how to do this. Whereas on our side, we're very limited. All we're saying is here's the steps we know from our end, but the Stripe side can be really helpful, or the Zapier side can be very helpful on the other side.
Okay, I think I understand that. So the purpose of setting up the Stripe account is so that I can get paid on the stuff that I'm charging for.
Yes. So if you're
Okay.
just doing like opt-ins or things with zero price tags in that account, you wouldn't need to set up your Stripe. In fact, if you've done those, if you set several up and you're just promoting them and you've used it for a while, and then you'll never be prompted to have to do a Stripe account. The only time we make you put a Stripe account in is if you're charging for something. And then
Okay.
we put that blockade in place so that your customer has some place to pay you, because
Right.
we're outside of the Stripe account. We don't take a
Okay.
percentage. You're connecting your customer with your Stripe account.
Okay.
So we're just facilitating that.
Okay, because I thought it went through you guys and then to me, so that's
Nope.
where I was
Nope.
confused, and I was like, why do I need this?
Yeah,
Okay.
and you don't, if you're just doing opt-ins, then you don't. But if you're actually taking money, that is the way that Pagewheel facilitates the taking of the money.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be charging just yet. I think I don't need a Stripe just yet, but now I have all the information and I appreciate
Yeah.
your help. Thank
Absolutely.
you. I appreciate your help today. I'm
Anytime.
glad it worked out, but I do have to go in a couple minutes. So I'm going to stay on and listen to one more person and then jump off.
That sounds good. And I think who was it that said they had a question?
Jay
Cynthia?
or Jane.
Cynthia. Yeah. Go for it, Cynthia.
I do, but I don't want to forget that we have Sandy add her YouTube. But we might be able to do that during mine. Poor Sandy, I'm gonna
perfect.
hunt her down. So I put together what I call the summit, because it's not a bundle, it's got a video,
Okay.
or it's got videos. So I did that in the delivery page because I know I use those videos all the time, which is really slick, because then you just put a call to action underneath each video. It was really great. I'll just tell you guys, super easy. And thank you, April, for editing it for me. I'm not great at editing. I've put button BUTON and said, and it will cost you more if you buy Pagewheel through me instead of not more. Anyway,
I was like, wait,
oh
what?
shoot, I went in and changed that. You know, my brain goes faster than my fingers. So Create new paragraph, new subject. So Kathy Frost suggested
Mhm.
that I put a video. She thought when I explained it to her that I was going to put the videos on the sales page, but there's not a way I could do that for a bunch of videos on the sales page, right? With a
You
call
can-
to action per video.
Yeah, I mean, okay, let's talk about it. There is actually a way you can do that, but I don't know why you'd want to.
Okay.
Um,
Well, I
the-
was wondering maybe instead picking your brain, and I don't
Yeah.
want to take time if people have Pagewheel questions. I thought she asked me, and I was going through the grocery store, and I thought, I don't know, I was confused, but I've thought about it since, and I thought, what if I did a video with all the speakers
Mhm.
and we put that on the sales page, so I could like do a snapshot of all their faces, and maybe they did a 1 or 2 minute, intro.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm da da da, and you'll get this, or something
Right.
like that. How would that work? What do you think?
Yeah, so you could totally do that. One of the things I would caution you to putting a bunch of effort into something that you don't need it to sell it, if that makes sense. Like
Mhm.
if you're like, here's my list of speakers, you're going to get all access to them. That may be enough.
Okay.
But if you want to get fancy and put like a video that has a little bit of each one, I think that's lovely. You could also potentially use one of the photo inserts and just create a collage of the speakers. You've seen that done
Yep.
before. So,
Mhm.
so,
That
and
would be easier.
yeah, in fact, let's go into,
I wouldn't have to coordinate them all, right?
right.
That would be
And
great.
let's go into that because I think both of you, like you said, both of these issues are the same solution. So
Right.
I'm going to go straight to my website for this freezer label thing here. And so, oh, here's Kathy now. So on both the sales page and the delivery page, you have the same tools.
Okay.
Now, whether you want to use them or not is a whole nother thing, but you have it available to you. So let's say I want to come in here and let's just add it in. I'm just going to click in the section that I want to add this to it. And I'm going, this is looking wonky today. I actually sent this to them yesterday, but it was only on the testing site and now it's on this too. So I have clicked kind of in the section that I want it, and then I'm going to use the plus button in the editor bar. And then you can like video or image. You could be adding photos or videos, any of these layouts. And you could use multiple like you did on, for one after another if you wanted to. You could do the same thing on your sales page if you wanted to. The other thing, if you wanted to do kind of a collective video, you could do that. Also with the photo, you kind of have the same layouts and you could do a whole bunch of, like you could use this one over and over again with like all the speakers' names, which would be kind of cool. Or you could do something like this that has a collage of all the speakers in one place. Okay.
Yeah. I think that the issue is I was just in my box. This is
Yeah.
how I do this, right? Because I do it all the time. And so when Kathy said, hey, I thought this was going to be on the front page, I was like, what? And so, yeah, that's just a new way. It's great to have other people say, wait a minute, why didn't you do this?
Yeah.
And so
No, I think
maybe I'll add that or not. I don't know. I think probably the pictures would be better having them listed, but this is my first one, right? So I'm
Mhm.
learning.
Yeah.
And rather than trying to collect everybody and do videos.
Yeah.
So thanks. That's all I needed. But
Okay. Let's
jump
go.
off.
Let's go
Okay,
in.
so,
Go ahead, Kathy.
okay, so yeah, I'm sorry I'm late, but I was in physical therapy. So anyway, yeah, so what I was trying to figure out is, so anybody who clicks will definitely get onto Cynthia's list, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And then,
Anyone who goes, who like opts in, so fills out this box at the bottom.
right, anybody who wants to know more about what all it is gets that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so that's why I was wondering. So when I would take and promote it to my people, they will all get on Cindy's list,
Mm-hmm.
but they won't get on Deanna's list, for instance. So that's what I was trying to figure out is how can we all get the list? Because so often when you do summits,
So the way that so I'm in a summit in a week or two, and one of the ways that we go about that is the person who's throwing the summit is going to get everybody's email list.
Right.
But then if someone watches my video or wants my freebie, they're like, I'm giving them a link to an opt-in for my list.
Right.
So like, let's say I'm speaking at Cynthia's summit. I speak and I'm like, oh, by the way, if you want the workbook that goes along with my thing, or you want you want this other enticing thing, then I'm going to say that, click below. And that's where you could send them to basically your Pagewheel opt-in.
Right.
Because some people will go through and just opt in to get all the freebies, which is one of the reasons why, creating a freebie when you're speaking at some place is an amazing way to get those people on your list, because they already have been like, oh, I really like what she has to say. I want to make sure that I hear more. I get the free thing that she's offering.
Okay. So I was just thinking that there was a way that they could know more before.
The other option, you guys, if you guys are putting, and this, I don't know if this is appropriate for this event, but in general, you could do this with Pagewheel in a way that it would be really hard to do with other softwares. Is, let's say you're doing a collective, multi-speaker event. So somebody sets it up with all the videos and all the freebies of each person on the back end, and then shares it into each of your accounts. And then you all, when you're promoting this event, you're promoting it on your Pagewheel account.
That's a good idea.
Okay. Yeah, that is a really good idea.
Yeah.
So the purpose, and I don't want to spend all the time because I know this is a Pagewheel thing, but the purpose is for me to get in front of like Deanna and Kathy and Donna Crenshaw's audiences, right?
Yeah.
But I don't want people signing up for things from me if they're not my audience, because I don't want to waste them on my autoresponder. Right now, I'm getting everybody now, but that was the chance I took. So there's a catch-22 if you take everything or you take none. And the purpose of sending it through, doing it with mine is that we get shared to everybody's, I don't know, we all get shared to each other's audience. If we share it to, like if I share it, let's say with Kathy, if I'm talking in circles, I apologize. And Kathy makes her own sales page, then isn't it just going to get shared to her people?
Yeah. So let's say, and let's take it, you like Cynthia set it up, and there's maybe you have 5 people speaking and 5 hosts. So the first way that you're doing it right now is you all are sending them to Cynthia, and that each one has an opt-in that could bring list people that are interested. So everybody's coming into one bucket. The second way of doing this is Cynthia shares it to the 5 speakers. Each of the 5 speakers sends their own people to their own funnel. And the way that Cynthia and Kathy and April get people on their list is through their opt-in on that delivery page.
Right. So then on the delivery, if she shared it, then on the delivery page, they could still opt in for hers or mine or Deanna's or Donna's.
Yeah, so you would make sure that, video opt-in, video opt-in, video opt-in. So that like, if I'm like, oh, Cynthia really touched my heart with that, I want to make sure I get her freebie. And so this is kind of what Cynthia's talking about, is she's getting people in that want to hear all 5 of you, but not necessarily people who are her people. Right. So this way you get a little bit more selective with who ends up on those lists, because I'm not opting in. If I'm not a religious person, I'm probably not going to opt into Cynthia's freebie because she's selectively putting something that is going to be, perfect for her person. So it's going to weed out some of the people that might end up on the list accidentally.
Perfect. Yeah, that sounds like that sounds great.
All right, so let's go into, right now we're on the offer page. We're going to go next to the delivery page. And this is where Cynthia has put all these videos. And this is where when we come in, I like this section down here. Although you guys, I've seen so many of you are doing really awesome things with moving these sections. And so you can move a section real easily by these up and down buttons. And so you can move things around. I like this middle section for a video. So let's just add a section we're going to go into the video and then just add that video in there. And then all you're doing is adding the YouTube link right here. If you're wanting to keep that video private, then when you upload it to YouTube, use an unlisted option, and then you can just embed it here. If you don't care if everybody sees it on YouTube, then you can use either a listed or an unlisted thing here. So this is where you're going to add that. Once you add that YouTube thing, it will embed that video right there. And you can just embed as many as you want to. And you can put text underneath of it. You could, put buttons, anything that you can add right here all these things are things you can add. So we hide this plus button as to not overwhelm you when you first get started with Pagewheel, because like the point of Pagewheel is it's really simple from start to end. But then once you have done it a few times and then you're like, oh, I can do this and this and this, that's where you want to get into this plus button. And so you can start seeing that it's really limitless what you can do in here. But we don't want that to be overwhelming at first.
Okay, is this how I want to deliver the replay to people that took the class?
Yes,
Or-
Sandy, this is what you're
Yeah.
going to do is you're just going to upload that unlisted to YouTube and put that link right here.
Okay.
And then you're going to save it.
Holly, is there any way that the opt-in to our mailing list button can be bigger?
You mean on the delivery page?
On the offer page?
On the offer page. Let's see. Let's go back there and look at it.
I feel like it's so small and it's a different color that I feel like it's getting missed.
Mm-hmm.
See
where it says, I would like to subscribe
yeah. So
on the left?
the color situation is
No,
going
not there. Over on the left, the little tiny, go back down.
this right here.
Yes.
Okay.
So that button is a different color and you almost don't see that it can be checked.
Okay. Yeah, I can put that in there.
And the box is small.
It's very small. And I feel
Okay.
like it gets missed a lot because I have a very low rate of people opting in.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think secondarily, I think we could look at the language on that a little bit and make it a little bit more enticing as well.
Okay.
So I'll put that in. Also, this button, it hasn't rolled out to our live thing, but this button will be able to change colors a lot easier, and it will be the same color as all these others.
Oh, good. Yeah.
That was a bug that for some reason I sent it back literally 5 times. I don't know why.
Because I'm thinking too, 99% of the things I sign up for, the add me to your newsletter button is pre-checked and I have to uncheck it to get off of it.
That's a good point. We'll definitely
Like
take a look at
almost
that.
always. Am I right, y'all? When you sign up for stuff,
You're right.
the newsletter button is already checked. If I don't want to get on it, I have to uncheck it.
See.
Not that
all right.
we want to be sneaky.
April, let's talk about your question.
I have a question when you're done with April. if possible.
Okay, sounds good.
I also have a question.
Okay. Let's
I need to go back up to it now.
I think it's about
Oh, so I have a bundle
mhm,
of 5 cards. They come with envelopes. I own the rights to the art on the 5 cards. So
Okay.
no one else can sell these cards but me.
Okay.
Well, and the artist, but he's not
Yeah.
selling cards. Can I use Pagewheel somehow for that paywall so I don't have to create a shopping cart on a website? And like how
yeah.
would it be like download your free not
Is
free.
it a physical product that you're sending in the mail, or is it a download?
Yes, I'm gonna mail them. It's
Okay.
these right here. It's actually these 5 cards.
Okay.
You've seen this image everywhere, but
Mhm.
nobody can sell it but me.
Okay.
It's these 5 physical cards with
Mhm.
envelopes, and I already have the little shipping envelope ready and everything. And they're $35 for 5 cards shipped to your house.
Okay.
And I want to sell them, and I know they're gonna sell.
Yeah.
I
So-
don't know how to bring it to market.
Yes. So what I would do is I would create your system just like you do in Pagewheel, only you're going to be talking about physical products. And then on that delivery page and in that email, you're going to have to give them some way to give you their address.
So if I ask in the delivery email, I should set, because they've already paid for it at that point.
Yes. And on the delivery page,
reply to this email and let me know where to mail your bundle.
And then on the delivery page, you're going to say how to get your physical cards.
Okay.
And it say step 1, send me an email with your address, or fill out this form if you want to put it into a Google form or something like that.
Okay.
But make it very clear so that people don't feel like you bait and switch them, that they're going to have to give you their address or you can't send them the cards.
Okay.
And in
I'm
that
trying
case,
to
I
figure
might
out
even
a quick and easy way to do that, because I can set up a ManyChat automation and say, comment a keyword, and it's going to automatically send them the page to buy it and check out.
Yeah. And what the other thing I would do just to cover yourself, because they're, we're not set up for, we're not set up fully for this like Shopify would be, is I would put at the bottom, if you do not claim your cards within 30 days, I will refund or whatever. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So that you feel like you're not stealing people's money if they don't understand how to get them.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Is that on the list of things to do? Because I know, like in my a lot of forms I've created before, that adding an address is one of the things you can add.
Yeah. So we will be definitely dealing with that. Right now, we're concentrating on digital products. In the future, we'll be adding, once we've mastered this, we may be branching out to other things, but we've got to be good at the core before we add on those other things.
Great, thanks.
All right. Who was next?
I'll get Arlena first.
All right, go for it.
Holly, I have a beginner question.
Good.
And it has to do with branding. So when you had those sales pages, you have like the 5 colors that you can add your branding, but where do those colors get used? Because I've been like rotating them, and then I see the red color is like overwhelming, and then I rotate them. So how do I know which is get used where?
So let's, first of all, that is a little bit of a mystery, so I won't lie to you about that. But let me show you kind of how, wait a second. I thought I was on. All right, you're seeing me now. Okay. So let's go into here. And it's funny because I just was playing with this. The reason why these colors are completely different than I normally did is because I was doing something this. So in this, when we look at this, the first 3 colors are going to be the ones that are generally used the most. So those are going to be in your product. They're going to be the main colors on your delivery page. It's going to be the main colors. So if you're like, oh, I really would rather have the gray there, then I would definitely, move it around in this way. And you'll see immediately when we go back that all of a sudden the cover may be like gray instead of purple and stuff like that. So, and if you're really, really picky about each one of these things, it's going to be really hard. I'll just be honest with you on that. But like when you kind of come up with like if you're using red and you don't want things to be predominantly red, you may want to put red down on the end. Because like I have one that has a bright pink, and everything I make is pink. So, so, and sometimes the red has a light, because we'll gradiate it in some way. So even though you don't have a pink in your sphere, because you have a red, it's pulling that. So moving that color that you don't want all the way to the end is the best option for that. But let's go back here and so let's just look at this. So now you can see this is significantly different. And this is a sample page of the usage within the digital product. So if you look at that and all of a sudden this is now, you know, kind of darker and more morose, you could go back and change it out and see kind of, okay, that's kind of how these are doing. And you like this color that was kind of on the right-hand side is only used once on this page, and some pages it won't be used at all. Because it really has to use, there's like a usage, you know, space 1 is used 70%, space, you know, that kind of thing in the back end. Now, the other thing that you can do is change these within. So see now, instead of being purple, it's dark because I changed that one color over here to the other side. But like this one uses that secondary color. So that's where all of these things are kind of magically pulled together without a ton of control. Now, if we go into the website, let me just click through here. And this right now, I can't change that. I'm stuck with that color there. We are working to where you would be able to go in and change that on specific pages. And in some of the things like the text and stuff, you can. The background colors right now, you can't. So that's where it's a little challenging. And then let's go back to the website. On the website, for the most part, you can change the colors. So if you're like, this is way too much purple, you can just click on a section and up here and change the predominant colors.
That is very helpful. Because I wish I knew this like a week ago.
Sorry about that. Yeah, it's a little
No.
confusing. Yeah, and so this, because we realize, and then you can also, the other thing is a lot of times this is going to default into, like, I feel like that's not enough contrast for a sales button. So I might go in and change that, you know what I mean? And so you can start changing these things individually too throughout that. And as we go forward and as we make improvements, you're going to be able to get more and more granular about your changes and not have to be so global with, you know, remixing the colors from the beginning.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sure, anytime. And in that case, like this button down here in the right-hand lower corner is your ticket to answer any question anytime. It may take me an hour, 2 or 3 to get back to you, but I am on the other end, and I'll. Some of you, it's just a quick sentence. Some of you have gotten videos.
But Holly, I think at the end of the day, though, you were talking about getting more granular. I think at the end of the day, the whole goal of Pagewheel is to take the tech out of getting something to market.
Yes.
You know, if you get too granular, now you're Canva, and there has to be a whole giant class to learn how to use Pagewheel. Right now, you can kind of just go through and get your product out.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we're always trying to balance, because when we first launched Pagewheel, our goal was to get you from an idea to a launch in less than like 9 clicks. You know, where you could actually create a whole thing with less than 9 clicks, which, you know, and that we were very, very simple at the very, very beginning. And then we've gotten a little bit more complicated but when you're simple, there's no choices. When you're more complicated, it can be an overwhelming amount of choices. So we're trying to do that fine line of giving you options, like you said, with the plus button. A lot of you won't even know we had a plus button until you made 4 or 5 products, which is kind of our point, because like you can get from point A to point B with the full launch without that plus button in many, many cases. Same thing with like, you know, tweaking the colors and stuff like that, is that it's great to do it. But on the other hand, a launched product sells way more than an unlaunched product that have perfect colors. And so this is the balance that we're always pushing you guys in, to not overcomplicate things, because we overcomplicate everything in our life.
We do.
So we're kind of, you know, pushing at you a little bit to simplify and to, you know, be okay with not a perfect thing. But of course, on the other hand, we don't want you to hate your product. Like, well, it's launched, but I hate it. So like, that's where we're trying to get that kind of in between, simple, but ability to make some changes is where we're headed with that.
Yeah. Holly, the thing that I'm about to go in and tweak is I think one of my very first things I made last year, or maybe it
Yeah.
could have been the year before, right? This has only been a year, right?
Mhm.
Was the Christmas card organizer, because people are about to start thinking about their family pictures and how do I organize this and get it ready. And if they're going to use our service, they need to go ahead and like start uploading their names and addresses and things. Can I just go back into that one and tweak it and refix the links to the new pricing?
So let me talk to those of you right now who've been with us since before, that have made products before June of 2024. So and anyone who joined after that, I want you to close your ears because this has nothing to do with you.
Oh, Kim says in busy, when it was busy.
Yeah, if it was in busy, it's working. Okay, you can come through, they can buy it, that kind of stuff. But there are weird things like the bug I found this week, I can't remember, is like the copyright. There's no way for you to put your name, and it says your name here on those older funnels. So if you're okay with your name here in the copyright, then you can just go ahead and launch, but there'll be a few little tweaks. But if you have people that have that link already that might come through, you might want to keep it. Now, what you have to do to put it into the new thing to not have any of those bugs in only products that are years old here is that you need to start from scratch. And don't freak out, because I did this for somebody in this room in less than 10 minutes the other day. And the way I did it is I went into her old product. I downloaded the pages that didn't have any links and stuff on it. Okay. I uploaded that product. I actually uploaded the whole thing into her account under a new thing, and then deleted the pages that had links because remember, if we upload a PDF, there's no way to edit it or use the links.
Right.
So,
okay.
So I did that on the pages that didn't have links. She only had one page that had links, and I just rebuilt that page with links and added it in there.
Okay.
And then
it might be better to rebuild it anyway and just make it scratch fresh.
It may be, and it really, like when I first looked at it, I was like, oh crap, this is going to take a while. And then when I was like, oh wait a second, there's no links in this, I can just upload the PDF, and then I let the AI write the sales page, and she liked the language that was on the original sales page, so I just opened them both in two windows and just basically copied and pasted, so that she ended up with an identical products on two different things at that point.
Okay.
What in the olds, for those of you who are new, we went from 1.0 to 2.0 in June or end of May. It broke everything. It was horrible. But 2.0 is so much better than 1.0. The products in 1.0 will work. They're just not as fun and amazing and have all the bells and whistles that the 2.0 does. So for those of you who are like, hey, I want to redo a product from last year, it's probably just better to figure out a way to make a new funnel, because it's going to be a better funnel and more stable funnel, or website delivery page than using. But the old one does work. It just has some weird quirks here and there.
Okay, cool. All right.
Okay, so
Yeah, so no duplicating it. I'm sorry, just one more thing, Lana, before we go. You can duplicate it, but what happens is it brings over those quirky, weird stuff. And most of those things are on the sales page, and I don't understand it. But it's one of those things that as we go forward, it's better that we figure out other stuff than that stuff, because as we go forward, there's just a few of you that are launching these things and they are working. So, all right, Lana.
okay, back to Cynthia's summit bundle type thing. Okay, so what you were saying is that Cynthia could share the summit homepage with everybody that's in it.
So
And then
she'd be sharing the whole product just with
right,
that share button. So you would have
right.
the product, the sales page, the delivery page, and the emails.
But we wouldn't, but then it would be an opt-in, or if she's selling it, then we would make it would just be because it's an opt-in, not because it's a sales page. If she's selling it as a bundle, then and she shared that then we'd be selling it as a bundle and we wouldn't be and that wouldn't be what we would want to be doing, right?
So, okay, so when you share a product, it allows the other person to edit it. So in a world that Cynthia had this, like let's say she has this amazing product that she's selling for $100, and she shares it with Sandy and Lana and Kim. Well, they now have her $100 product in their Pagewheel account, but guess what? They can go in and edit anything in there. So they could go in and make it free. They could go in and delete Cynthia out of it. That's that crazy Cynthia. We don't want to hear from her. So when you share a product, remember that that person on the other end, really, it's like it's now a template that they got from Pagewheel. You gave them basically full rights to do whatever you wanted to that. So I would just caution you. So like for instance, I was in a group where we did collaborated on a product. It was a summer camp for moms, like keeping your kids busy one summer. And the collective all added this lovely book, 20 people, and then we all went out and sold it on our own sales page. But we said nobody in this group is allowed to price it for less than $7.99. And so no matter what and that was like 10 years ago, I still am, because I agreed to it, I still have to figure out a way to sell it for $7.99. So if you do have a collective like that, you might want to put some rules in place. It's like, hey, this is an opt-in, everybody's going to give it away. Or hey, this is, you can, if you're okay with someone selling it and someone opting in, that's fine too. But if everybody's trying to get email addresses from it, what I would say to you as a group is nobody's allowed to put a price on it. Let's drive as much traffic to it so we all get as many emails as possible.
Because then what you would do is everybody would be on the delivery page, even Cynthia.
Yes.
And
yes.
so, but what you're doing there is like you say, if you're doing collective and it's like I send it out to my people, then I not my people, but if I'm sending it out because I want to get people that are in my audience, then I would use that to get people that are in my audience.
Right.
And then when they got the delivery page, then if they wanted to be in the other 4 people's audience, then they would click on those people.
Yeah, and
choose
that's
them.
why
But
it would be great for you each to be giving something away that's really attractive. So you may be linking to another Pagewheel opt-in for another thing. So or you may have an opt-in on your site somewhere, or that you're already using. But yes, so if each person is giving a gift, what that makes is really cool is, hey guys, we have this really great summit with a bunch of great speakers. And oh, by the way, there's also 5 free gifts that you're just going to love. It kind of ups the ante for your potential opt-in, because all of a sudden they're like, oh, I'm going to get all these cool things, but I'm also going to get some free stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm involved in one right now that's a paid one that we each gave a product that is worth $50 or more, so that when they buy, the whole thing for $50, they also get, $500 worth of product, because we each gave a $50 worth of stuff. So you can see this can get really big, and then you may even want to start publicizing that on the opt-in page, that not only are you going to hear from these 5 people, but you're going to get these 5 free gifts. And then to get each gift, you have to push the button for that gift or click the link for that gift.
Yeah, okay. Because I've been in bundles before and I've been in summits before but it's like where I provided them with a link to my paid product or
Yes.
something.
Yeah. So this is similar to that in the fact that if you wanted to do it all in one big bucket, you could all send it into there. Or if you want to individually just send your crowd to your own portion of that, your copy or your clone of that opt-in, you could do it. It's really,
And then
it's a little
everybody
more
else,
flexible.
yeah. And then everybody else could get on the other people's list from the delivery page.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
All right. Anyone else before we go today? Kathy.
I have one quick question. So I was just playing around a little bit with my one, I'm thrilled that you can now save 10 pages. But one of the pages had a couple of typos on it, so I downloaded it into a product that I have. I'll take and delete it from there. But now when I go back, will those changes be saved in the original or not?
What I would do, if you go to the original place that those edits are created, then it will be saved in that way. But if you pull it in and then make edits, it's not going to be saved in the original. Does that make sense? So
yeah, how can you go there without putting it into a product? That's, I guess, what I was
so
trying
what
to
I
figure
would
out.
do is I would pull it in,
Okay,
take your edits, delete, remove it as a favorite, the original, remove it as a favorite, and then favorite what you just edited. Does that make sense?
yeah, because I just went back and it did not save in there. So what I will do is, okay, thank you.
So
Appreciate it.
basically you're editing it and then exchanging the good version for the bad version.
Perfect.
But anywhere you've used that original won't change unless you get to that original and change
Right.
it.
I've been careful not to use it, so I just didn't want to have to go through and type the whole thing up again.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No.
Thank
Anyone
you.
else? All right. We are going out to the weekend full of energy.
Are you recording?
I am recording. Oh, let me stop the recording and then Cynthia, tell me what you were going to tell me too. And we're done here. So thank you guys. But I'm going to stay on for just another minute for anyone who wants to. Oh, no, wait. I want to stop the video, not the
The recording.
yeah.